guys, welcome back to Elevate Her UK. My name's Effie.
My name's Mariam.
My name's Khadija.
My name's Kazia.
My name's Naima.
And today we're going to be discussing situationships. First off, what is a situationship to you?
A situationship is a romantic relationship that is normally not formally established or really exclusive, but it can be also known as
Not giving labels or not being exclusive or like friends of benefit.
It can have its ups and downs. Like, on the upper hand, you have the sense of connection that you'd have in a relationship, but at the same time, you have the independence that you get with being single.
It can also affect friendships. For example, you complain about your situationship to your friends again and again. They constantly give you advice, but you don't listen to it, so it can ruin friendships.
Personally, I think situationships can't really seem to be long term. I know a lot of people think, oh, you're in the moment, or it's simple and, you know, no labels. But in the long term, if you think about it, it's not going to lead to anything serious. But everyone has their own views on it. Let's talk about signs that you're in a situationship, because I know there's a lot.
one of the signs could be like the person will talk to you only when it's convenient for them.
Honestly, I think that's so true. Like, you can't always be in even if you're in a different relationship, or even if it's a situationship, you can't only be the only person that's giving effort. Because if they only want you when they want you, that's not a relationship. That's not a situation. That's really bad marketing situationship. I think a lot of people go through that and then they kind of start complaining, but you put yourself in that situation, so think of ways to get out of that.
Also, I would say if they're only talking to you if it's convenient for them, it seems like they're not serious and they don't want anything more than the attention that you're giving them, especially when you're the only person giving effort.
Another sign could be mixed signals, so they don't express their feelings or how they feel about you, and it just shows how inconsistent they are, and they're not really. What was the word? They're not consistent, basically.
Yeah. Another sign is one person in the situationship is showing more affection and being more committed into the situationship than the other person, and it just shows that they're not giving putting a lot of effort into their situationship, and it shows the lack of responsibility in the situationship.
I'd say it can also affect relationships in the long run. If you're in a situationship and you you're aware of that and you don't really care, it could also mess you up when you in the future, if you actually do get into a committed relationship, you could miss signals, if your partner wants you to do something but you're in your situationship you never was expected to do that can affect how your relationships, serious relationships in the future.
Yeah, some situationships are so toxic and it's so frequent that you get used to that.
I would say it's good for character development, but at the same time it could be bad on your mental health, as it could really physically and mentally ruin you as a person, and it also take quite a while to heal from it and to be able to move on in life and onto other people and relationships.
It has the same effects as a relationship, even the same emotional effects, just without the labels, and that's just not serious.
And it's hard to not get attached, because sometimes for situations, most of the time, it's one person liking the other person more than that person. So it's harder to it's basically impossible to not get attached, because you think that's what's normal. So
it's also low-key, I think it's pretty normalized in our generation to be in a situationship. I absolutely dislike that, because if you think about actual relationships, they're I wouldn't say they're not normalised in our like generation. It's just the fact that situationships are more seen as like the moment and like what people want nowadays. But it's not what everyone wants and everyone thinks.
People seem to more prioritize the present more than the future, and they seem to think, like how Effie said, you're living in the moment, you should enjoy it while it lasts, but they don't tend to think about, what could it be in the future, or what it could turn into. So I feel like it's just could possibly be a waste of time.
Maybe like, what's it called? I feel like maybe social media has influenced that as well. Like your view on relationships, like, because not every relationship on social media is like perfect, and not like everyone like has like a perfect relationship. So I feel like maybe people are scared to be in a committed relationship because they've seen like, maybe even in their personal life or their family life, that they've seen like things happen and they don't really want to get into a committed relationship.
I think I saw this girl who used to be close, and she was in a situationship, but he was so toxic, and her dad wasn't in her life. Like he was, but he was distant. Like he'll come back and then he'll mess her up and then leave and then come back. And then in her situationship, it was similar to that.
Put so much effort into a guy that she can tell doesn't care.
She's like normalized how inconsistent he is.
Yeah.
I think family relationships and what you see with your parents can really have an effect on your situationships. For example, some people may have parents that have been broken up, so they kind of see marriage as like a failure, and they don't want to get their heart broken because they've seen it and they've lived through it and they know what can happen to their children eventually.
Yeah. So I think it's because people seek that connection, because since you like you said, you've grown up and you've seen that, so you think it's normal, so people will look for that in relationships or situationships.
I think it kind of has a huge. I think family relationships has a huge toll on situationships, as like it can affect like the lack of communication they have with each other, and it will make it like be more distant in a way, and it will show like one is trying to put more effort, but I don't think it can be saved because of it.
Additionally, like when a situation that's happened with family, and if you viewed that, a lot of people tend to feed off of that relationship and portray what they have seen into their own relationship, which could potentially ruin it.
But sometimes it's not all the time. It's not bad in all situations. Like sometimes people see all of this bad stuff in their family and they know like, I don't want this, so they do it. Like they know how to better themselves. And
I have this friend, and she was kind of in a situationship with this guy, but she would tell us about like what happens and like why he's that way, because he has like commitment issues. And she was saying how his dad is out of his life, so it's only been his mom is out of his life, so it's only been his siblings and his dad, and his dad's not very like affectionate towards them, so he has like a hard time like being committed and being like affectionate towards people. So when he does like look for relationships, he doesn't look for anything affectionate, like actual relationships. And he was talking about, and she was trying to give him advice on like how to do that, and like trying to like, I feel like, I don't want to say train because they're not dogs. However, she was trying to give him advice, like kind of build up his like communication and relationships with people. So I feel like if you do have like friends that have like good relationships, and you can see that going like in the future, like you have like people older than you that are in relationships and that are committed, or like even like relationships, like let's say your boss or like your friends at work or your school friends or like your teachers, if they have like any advice on relationships, which I know they definitely do, because people are very opinionated, but I know they definitely do. So I feel like asking people and not being afraid to ask people about relationships, I feel like that should be normalized, like not being afraid to like speak about how to be in a good relationship if that's what you want.
I think it's also important to choose your friends, because your friends also have a big impact on your life. Not even like if we can look at situationships, but it's literally like everything else in life. I mean, not everything, but a lot of things in life, like the things that you do outside of, even in school, like you look at people around you. So it's important to surround yourself with good people because some people are crazy.
I don't know if you can say this, but like, can you both have like a situationship in friendships? I don't know, maybe. Because like, you can be friends, but it can be one-sided. Like you can feel like, oh, they're only friends with you when it's convenient to them. Like let's say you have a friend, and this is definitely happening to someone. You have a friend and they're only friends with you when their friends aren't there. That's a type of friendship situationship. And I feel like people should be wary of that because that's just not gonna help you in the long run. Because those people only want you, and I feel like that affects your like mental view on like relationships. So I feel like cutting people out of your life that are not like doing you any good in like your personal growth is also a good way of like building your connection with people and your communication and your skills. Does anyone have any other points? I think that's a good discussion. Yeah, I think we've got a lot of information out. So yeah, thank you for watching our like segment on situationships. And if you have, if you have any questions or like points that you wanna like get across, you want us to speak about, please do comment and like and subscribe.